Team
What are
Ryan
you
Reynolds
saying
because
Steve
that's,
Hawking for like you guys are boys?
that's it. Everybody calls him Steve.
Yeah, me and Steve Hawking, yeah, back in the day we used
Dude,
to
me
do
and
all the
Steve.
chemistry together. We used to do mad astronomy together, bro.
Yeah, we're the
Come
best
on,
of
show
brothers.
some respect, Blake.
I'd roll in the back of his wheelchair. He put some pegs on that thing, and I was just standing on the back, hitting the
You
town.
just mute the laptop and we would go. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Welcome back to PM in the AM, a comedy podcast for listeners of all ages. The show that contains the kind of humor to make you laugh out loud no matter where you're listening. Each week, we take a deep dive into some of the funniest topics found on the internet, including hilarious news stories, funny purchasable items, making brackets, and other insane topics. My name is Porter McNeely. I am joined alongside the excellent, the wonderful Blake Bushman.
Wow.
Blake, how are you doing this week?
I mean, I'm fantastic. I'm just impressed at your motorcycle impression there. I'm blown away by the fact that you're able to do that. I had no idea that that was a talent. You've been hiding that from me this whole time I've known you. That's crazy.
I know that was actually, I have been doing it throughout the day. I'll make that admission here. I have been doing it today in preparation for the podcast as we've kind of over the
Getting that
last couple of
practice
weeks.
in.
Exactly. We started doing sound effects over the last couple of weeks. And so I thought, what kind of is like a whoa, 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 so I could kind of do a good intro for the podcast. And
Hmm.
what better way than a nice motorcycle? So I'm glad it went well. And honestly, that was my best attempt. And so I guess I just got to roll with it more and just do it live. And that's the way to
Yeah,
do it.
you excel under pressure. So kudos to you. Way to get it started off hot on that. Everybody listening is going to be like, what's going on?" And they're going to get hit
No,
with the wakey wakey, and they'll feel right at home. So I
I
love it.
really hope that like just through the audio edition, everybody listening to this was able to say, man, that is a nice motorcycle. So hopefully, I guess we'll see.
They didn't
And
edit out that motorcycle driving by. That's crazy.
honestly, but yeah, I think we're gonna be switching off back and forth. You know, Blake had the intro last week and he did a really good job. So I think we're gonna have to switch off. I really enjoyed going in and doing the editing of that and just hearing you do it. So
It caught
I'll
me
put
off
you on.
guard when I was going through doing some editing. I heard my own voice. I was like, that doesn't feel right. That sounds a little weird.
Well, I'll put you on the clock. You have now got a couple of days or a week, about a week to prepare for our next episode where you're going to have to come up with something more creative to start out the intro. So we'll see what you can come up with and we'll be excited for that. But speaking of excited, Blake, we have a wonderful show coming up for the morning people today. Shout out to everybody listening. Make sure you head over to our Instagram and follow us at PM in the AM Podcast and on YouTube at PM in the AM Podcast. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers over on YouTube. So if we haven't done that yet, please be one of the lucky last 8 people to follow us before we reach 100. Because let me tell you, after that, Blake, we're taking off. We're going to the moon. The first 100 is the hardest, and we're almost there. And
Yeah,
so,
I mean, we've had a lot of success with just a lot of reels and YouTube Shorts and stuff doing well. So go over there, show some support, and who knows? Maybe if you're our 100th subscriber, we'll send you a nice thank you letter. We're out of money. Don't expect anything. We
I think we got stickers, so we could
I'll send
definitely
you.
do something.
There you go. All right, we'll figure something out for you. Whoever our lucky 100th subscriber is.
I know, absolutely. But like I said, today's show is going to be excellent. We have Would You Rather questions coming back. And this time, we took matters into our own hands. And so we brainstormed these to the best of our abilities to make the questions not only thought provoking, but also hilarious. And then we are going to be doing a bracket that I'm really interested in, Blake. We are going to be doing the different ways to eat potatoes bracket. So we're going to be drafting elite potato dishes. And Blake, I know you're a big French fry guy. How do you feel about the rest of the way that potatoes are
I
prepared?
This is the first time that we've ever done a draft where I cannot be upset with what you pick because I have more than 8 options of things that I want, and we always do 8. And like, I don't really. There's a few maybe favorites, but all of these are just fantastic. So I am thrilled about this draft. I don't feel like I'm going to miss out on anything just because there's so many good options.
Yeah, and I mean, really excited for that. Everybody's going to want to stay tuned. But Blake, let's go ahead and jump into the show today, and let's open it up with some would you rather questions. And I'm just pulling mine up here real quick.
Well, I'll get started on it here for you, because my first one actually isn't a would you rather, so maybe it'll be a nice intro to it.
Okay.
But I I heard this and it's been thought provoking, and I want to get your opinion on it. If you could choose any 5 liquids or sauces, whatever, to come out of your fingers at will, what 5 would you choose for each finger?
Oof. Okay. I mean, immediately, first thought is barbecue sauce.
Mm,
For me,
good choice. Yeah.
barbecue sauce is my favorite sauce. I put that on pretty much everything, and it makes it all better. So
Yeah,
I don't know which.
hot sauce was my sauce of choice. I figured you put hot
Really?
sauce in, and yeah, I mean, what gets worse by adding hot sauce besides like a dessert? Everything is better with a little with, and it's got. I'm on some like Cholula or something. I don't know what
Okay. I like
kind
a
yet.
mild hot
Yeah.
sauce. You're not
Oh
going
yeah.
like
No, I'm not
burn your
going.
bum
Yeah, I'm not going
habanero.
like the devil's butthole hot sauce. Like I just want. I want like a regular something to add a little flavor, but not something that's gonna melt my soul. So
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, I think that's almost necessary in the five finger, but you brought up dessert, which I hadn't thought about. And so
Mhm.
that adds another tricky element because chocolate syrup is pretty good. And just imagine, you got your pointer finger pointed into a glass of milk and boom,
Just
chocolate milk.
I mean, that's a solid option. I hadn't thought about chocolate syrup actually. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I thought for sure my thumb is just going to be water. I just want to be able to
Mm.
suck on my thumb and have it just be hydration.
Oh,
It would
man.
look super weird to everybody else, but I figure if I'm going to be sucking on a finger, it's got to be my thumb. I mean, any of the other fingers, I'm just flipped off the camera. Any of the other fingers are going to be just as weird, so I figure I might as well
Mhm.
get the one that has the most suction to it.
Mm,
And
that's
then
interesting.
my pinky's got to be gasoline. I'm putting that right into my tank. I'm free gas. I mean, it's gonna take 3.5 hours to fill up my tank, but I'll just be hanging out. I'll put on a movie or something
Mm.
I don't even have to go to the gas station, so I'll just pop it in there and I'm good to go.
I mean, that's a really good answer. I hadn't really thought of the liquids too much. I was kind of stuck on the sauces here.
Mm.
So, liquids included, I've already done chocolate syrup. I mean, potentially, I don't know if I want to go with milk because, what if it's a warm day and you're outside? Does that milk come out at room temperature or is that milk coming out
Oh
cold?
no, it's coming out frosty. I mean, it's nice
Oh,
and
okay.
chilled because
Okay.
that's a good combo to have the chocolate milk or the
Hmm.
milk and the chocolate syrup. I mean, you
Yeah.
could put both fingers in there and you're ready to go. That's a solid combo actually. I like that.
I mean, the gasoline pick that you took is really good as well. And so I'm trying to think of something
What's the
that's,
most valuable
equivalent.
liquid? Like, what's the?
I think it's actually a scorpion's venom thing that is used to cure certain ailments or something. It's used for
I'm gonna tell
medical
you right
things, and
now.
it's
I don't think venom is used to cure anything.
no,
I
it
think it's
is.
used in weaponry.
Look it up. I don't know what kind of scorpion
I'm looking it up
sauce
right
it
now.
is. Yeah, I want to get this confession on air that you were wrong because I believe that the most lucrative liquid is some form of scorpion liquid, which I could only assume is venomous. But it's probably like the anti venom for other things.
Oh glory! What? Okay, I'm gonna
I
read
love the
this
response.
from Google, and this is from Britannica.com. I mean, that's a website I've heard of. That sounds pretty credible. The venom of a Deathstalker scorpion costs $39 million a gallon, making it the most expensive liquid on Earth.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and take a bow on camera.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's going right in my middle finger. I'm putting, that's crazy.
Well, are you
How,
sure you're gonna want that in your middle finger? Hear me out, because what if you're in traffic and somebody cuts you off, like we've mentioned a lot of times on this podcast, you flip them off, you're shooting this venom at them. Meanwhile, they're catching it in a cup and turning it into mad profit. So I think you got to be careful with that. Maybe do the pinky finger. You want that
Yeah,
one to be your
but think
smallest
about
finger.
this. It's also a risk because if they get a little bit in their mouth, this thing is called the Death Stalker scorpion. I think that kills like on impact. So you got to be careful not to get any of this stuff on your skin as you're filling up your
Oh,
gallon jugs. I mean, you fill up 10 gallons. That's $390 million. That's,
yeah, but do you really think there's like a market
you're gonna
for?
flood the market.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be worth anything.
You just need to get 1 gallon lifetime, take your $39 million and be happy, because the more you
Yeah.
produce it. So maybe just you do that with one of your fingers and you put a tap on it. You cover it up, and you're not using it anymore.
Wearing like a thimble on your finger all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Because what happens if you spill a little ketchup on there and you go to lick it off and you accidentally
Oh, that's
put some Death Stalker
that's
right down your own system?
that's tough luck. I mean,
That's not a good
you'll
idea.
die rich. I will say this though, to your point, it is used in medical applications. I guess it's good at identifying tumors and treating malaria. I gotta hand it to you. I don't know. I didn't know you were such a scorpion venom connoisseur, but that's an impressive off the top of the noggin fact that you're pulling, and so that's absolutely going in my middle finger.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you have gasoline and that, I mean, you're kind of set for life, and then maybe a couple of sauces that you can just throw out when you stop at a restaurant along the way.
Yeah,
But dang, yeah, that's a good idea. I think we threw out some good options there. I'm not sure if we need to come up with the entire hand on our own,
yeah.
but hopefully you guys at home came up with something else, and we'd love to hear what you got on that one. But Blake, I want to take it into the would you rather's now, and
All right, let's do it.
I've got some good ones today. I'm excited for you to answer these. All right,
All right.
Blake. So first, would you rather always have to use public restrooms barefoot, or use your own bathroom with the last trip's remains still in the bowl every time?
Oh, this is the easiest question without a doubt. I'm going home. I'm good taking a doogie on my doogie. Like that's
Oh,
not barefoot in a public bathroom. Look, I swam on like competitively for a large period of my life, and I would walk around barefoot in the locker rooms, like at these public swimming pools. Looking back at that now, I want to go back and just punch myself in the face, saying, "Bro, you're gonna get some permanent foot damage done to your system."
for sure.
So the, I've seen too many things in a public bathroom. At that same place that I was walking around barefoot, I saw a turd laying right on the floor in the bathroom. I mean, you don't want to know what's on these things. Who's in charge of cleaning these up? Like 16-year-olds? I don't want to be anywhere near those with my little piggies. I'm taking a drop and a deuce on my deuce because
That's so gross.
I'm assuming it's kind of like it's a cycle system. As one goes down, it swaps it out, and I mean, as long I go to the bathroom often enough that I don't think it'll really have time to linger. Because I think what happens when it marinates is when you really get into an issue. Uh, so I'll go often enough that I'll wash it down, and we'll
No,
be all
that's
right.
disgusting. No, see, I'm on the other side of this one because I absolutely hate when you open up the lid, and I mean, especially if there's something solid in there, disgusting. You're instantly getting just an absolute rush of that stench into your face. And I mean, also, there's nothing worse than like when there's been a pee sitting in there too, and it just has that nasty, musty, old pee smell. Like when you were a kid and you went to the bathroom in the middle of the night and you thought if you flushed the toilet, the people that were
Mm,
inevitably breaking into your
yeah,
house at
yeah.
that moment were going to come up and get you.
Oh yeah,
And so
you
you
can't
just
let them
left
know
it.
where you're at.
exactly. Exactly. So heck no. I don't, you can't get sick through the bottom of your feet. No chance. You can get
you
athlete's foot.
you can get all sorts of fungus, which I think there's certainly a story about somebody who had their foot amputated. I'm just certain. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen to me if I go to the bathroom on top of a toilet that has not been flushed, I'm getting a little stank job in my nose. The worst that can happen going barefoot in a public restroom is probably death. I imagine. I don't know what the first step is. Definitely a foot fungus, but who knows where those can go? So I'm going to take a little stank over permanent death or limb loss. So I disagree with you 100% on that one.
All right.
All right, I got. I'll get into another one here before I get too grossed out about your question there. My next is: would you rather everything be hot or everything be cold? That includes temperature, food, anything you can think of. Everything is either hot or cold.
Uh, I guess it depends on how hot. This is like a livable hot, right? Because the climate is going to be this temperature.
Yeah, this is like. I mean, this is. I'm thinking probably a nice Arizona hot, so it's toasty. I mean, at least 100 degrees outside at all times. But like the shower is the same temperature my wife takes a shower at, which is as soon as flames start coming out of the top of the the shower.
Is that just a woman thing in general?
Ugh, dude, I don't know, but their skin must just be scales. I don't
Oh,
like. I can't imagine having water that hot on me. It's boiling. So I mean, shower super hot. It's hot enough to be uncomfortable with everything, but it's not gonna like you know burn you to death or anything. You're not on the surface of the sun.
yeah. What about the cold? Are we talking like 30 degrees or
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say like freezing but not necessarily like snowy all the time or anything like
okay.
it's
Okay.
like 30, 40 degrees right in there. It's so you're gonna need a coat
Dang.
all the time, and also
I
with your
think
food too. I mean, you got to think about that because I don't do the heat. i
yeah.
I I'm a warmer fella.
Mhm.
I'm sweating right now in the comfort of my own home, so I can't stand the heat. But also, I won't be able to eat like steak again because a cold steak sounds not pleasant. A nice hot steak that sounds delicious. So there's definitely a bit of a trade off that you got to think about.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take cold for personal comfort. I can deal with the food not being quite as tasty. I feel like you should still be able to cook the steak. You just then have to
You
freeze it or
have to let
something
it. You have to
afterwards,
let
or
you have to put it in the freezer for a couple hours before you can eat. Oh man. I
but
mean, you
yeah,
got
I'm
ice
taking
cream,
cold.
so that's
Yeah,
good.
you have a good amount of things like cold pizza, really good.
Oh, that's true.
Cold
Yeah.
PB&J, really good. That's the staples of my life right there. So I
Yeah.
think I cold soda, cold.
How do you do with cold showers?
Ooh,
I
yeah,
mean, you're waking up in the morning, it's
mm.
already cold, and then you have to go get in a cold shower.
Well, nobody said I had to take cold showers. I can stink in this hypothetical, Blake, and I would stink.
Fair
I would
enough. I'll
occasionally do the washcloth pat down like the old people at the old folks home with the sponge.
just a
That's
little
it.
dab here and
Yeah.
there. Get the
That's
areas
all
that
the
count.
maintenance.
All
Yeah,
right,
I will
fair enough.
stink, but I will be happy.
No,
So,
I'm
what are you
with you on
taking?
that though.
Okay.
I can't do heat. I could never live in a place like Arizona where it's hot. We were just down there not too long ago, and it was like the winter, and I was still like getting a little toasty. So I need to stay where it's cold. I'll throw on a coat and be all right.
Perfect. All right, here comes my next one. This is a good one. Would you rather have to say yeah right after every time somebody tells you a fact, or call someone you just met by the wrong name to their face every time?
Is it just one time? Like the first time I meet
Yeah,
them?
one time. The first time you meet them, you have to call them the wrong name to their face right after they tell
Mm,
you their name.
okay, I feel like I can get away with it, like a joke on that one, because I can then follow it up with their correct name. So everybody
Mm,
will become like everybody will be Tim. I'll just be like, "Oh, what's up, Tim?" Just kidding. Your name's actually Jonathan. I knew that. And then it's like, funny joke. And I already forgot the first one now, but that one, the second one doesn't seem half bad. What was the first
yeah,
option
the
again?
first one is that every time somebody tells you a fact, you have to say yeah right
Oh yeah,
after they say it.
which sounds that sounds hilarious. I mean, that's also the worst kind of person to be talking to.
I don't know. You might want to check the footage
Here,
about 15 minutes ago when I was telling you about scorpion
yeah,
venom.
here,
You were like,
I was
yeah,
gonna say
right. And
let's test it out. You tell me the scorpion venom is the most expensive, and I'm gonna hit you with it.
then, I mean, you already did that. So you're
Yeah,
already halfway
right.
there on this one. Yeah.
I like it. It makes me feel like I'm right all the time.
No, I think for the right reasons, the wrong name, you might not make a lot of friends, but hey, maybe you
Mm,
don't want a lot of friends. And so
yeah,
that might
that's
save you
hey, you
from.
just can't meet new people. You can still talk to everybody you already know, and your life just
Mhm.
stays the same. So
So, yeah,
that's
that's fair.
probably what you have to go with for the sake of your relationships. Good call on that one. All right. I got my last one here. I think you probably have a couple more, but would you rather punch a wall of sheetrock with full force or get punched full force in the chest by me or the other co-host, I guess?
So by saying sheetrock, you're assuming that I could hit a stud in the wall?
Yeah, yeah, it's a
Hmm.
toss up.
So I mean, how much time do I have to decide? Because I could kind of sit there and say, "Here's the door frame," and then I think it's
No,
like every 12 to 18 inches. Are you
you're
just going?
walking into. I'm imagining you're full of rage. Imagine
Yeah.
you were just in a baseball game and you lost it. And if you know, you know.
I was gonna say, I'll say that I have experience with the result of if you did punch a stud because I have personally punched a brick wall full force, and so I know that's gonna be like 8 to 10 weeks of rehab recovery. You're gonna lose the feeling of two of your fingers. You're gonna have to get pins in your hand. So I would let you punch me in the chest, Blake. I am not taking the risk. That is a terrible injury to come back from, and I don't ever want to go through
I
anything like
mean,
that again.
are you all right having a broke? I mean, I got a mean swing on me. You're not. It's a matter of would you rather have a
Is
broken
it
hand or a broken rib, like a punctured
no like?
lung?
Are you going to the sternum?
Where's the sternum?
The sternum is
what
like the
is the
middle
sternum?
of the chest, like the
That's so just like yeah. I mean, that's your chest,
yeah
right? Just your
yeah.
ribs. Your
I don't know. I
sternum isn't
think
us, and there's not anything there. It's just a hollow cave.
no, dude. I got a sturdy sternum. Your hand is gonna hurt. Instead of me breaking my hand on a sheetrocked wall,
I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
break
break
my
your hand
hand
on my
on
sturdy
your
sternum.
sternum. That's
Exactly.
I don't think you have. I mean, I'll stop your heart if I punch you right in the sternum, dude. Look, I'm not that strong, but I'm also pretty sure that that's the worst place to get punched. You want to go in the stomach, but the question was the chest, so that's
No chance. I'd rather take it in the kidney than the stomach.
yeah.
Because I got two kidneys and I only got one stomach.
I think the stomach is like the best place to get punched because you can kind of like flex and have it. If you've been hitting the gym often enough, you'll be all right.
That's fair. I mean, either way, you punch my sternum, break in your hand. Punch my stomach, break in your hand. Punch my kidney. You're putting me on a machine for the rest of my life. So maybe I'll take that back and say stomach.
No, it's the chest. I'm hitting you.
Yeah,
I'm hitting
chest.
you right
Oh
in the.
yeah,
You're
you
getting
hit
the
me.
wind. You're getting the wind knocked out of you for sure.
No, I'll take that one still. I don't want to break my hand again. It's not
Uh,
worth it. It's not worth the
I'm gonna
rehab.
risk. I'm gonna risk the sheetrock. I don't want to. I don't want a sternum shot. I don't.
And that's a gamble.
Look,
But
I know you've been going to the gym and such. I don't know how often you've been shadow boxing. I don't know what you're up to, so I'm not gonna risk it. I'll take a risk at the wall. I've been tearing down sheetrock in a basement at
Mhm.
my in-laws, and I feel like I could get through it pretty well. And there's not that many studs. You got to be pretty unlucky to hit a stud. So I'll roll the dice on it.
I'm just saying, imagine this how funny this podcast clip would be. Like if you right now stand up, turn around, there's a blank wall behind you, and we just, Russian roulette, punch in the wall style, and
Yeah,
we'll see what you get.
if I wasn't renting and also
Hmm.
moving out here in the next couple of months to where I'm trying to get my security deposit back,
Let's just put one
that
of those
makes
pictures over the
that make
top on
for
the
some
way out.
great content though. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
true. All right, well, that was a really good one. Very thought provoking, Blake. And hopefully my last one can do the same here. It's a little bit of a different twist. So
Okay.
we have would you rather look like Ryan Reynolds and have Alvin the Chipmunk's voice, or would you rather look like Sloth from the Goonies but have Sam Elliott's voice?
To me, this is I would love to. I'm imagining these, okay, and I'm imagining if I see Ryan Reynolds, "Why talking like this?" I can't do a chipmunk's voice, but you got the idea. That's still a handsome individual, we probably wouldn't be doing the podcast anymore, so that's something to consider. But I'd be doing modeling shoots, which probably brings in more money. So I'm gonna go ahead and take Ryan Reynolds. I'm gonna be a handsome devil because as smooth and silky as Sam Elliott's voice is, I just don't want to look like Sloth, so I'm good.
No, yeah, that's fair. But I think either way you could get rich. But I personally think Sloth from Goonies. I think you could become more wealthy because you could do voiceovers, you could do commercials, movies. Nobody needs to see your face in an animated movie. You just have to have that, yeah,
Oh,
that nice deep cowboy
I can
voice.
do animated movies. I'll play a chipmunk. I'll play like the side character with a really high voice every time. I mean,
I guess that is fair. I hadn't thought of that
don't
angle.
rule out the possibility for me to be a cartoon character with my chipmunk's voice, and then I can do modeling on the side. I mean, I'm living a good life.
All right, that's fair. You definitely found a loophole that I wasn't anticipating there. So, I mean, it would be nice to look like Ryan Reynolds,
Yeah,
obviously,
I mean
but
that's a handsome man.
those chipmunks, I don't know how much more annoying it could get. And to have to actually open your mouth and, go to a restaurant and be like,
Oh, I'm ordering
"Woo."
online. I'm not like they ask me for my name. I'm gonna wear a name tag everywhere so I can just point at it. And
No, that's
it will just say handsome. I'm not even gonna give him my name. When I look like Ryan Reynolds, bro, that will become my personality. I don't need anything else. I'll just put everything on that and call it good. I mean,
you know what I just
that's a
imagined
good
and it
looking
killed me.
dude.
What you need to do as Ryan Reynolds with Alvin the Chipmunk's voice is
Mm.
steal Stephen Hawking's roller chair with the laptop thing. So you could go to
I don't need to
a
steal it
restaurant.
anymore, right? I don't think anybody's using it.
I'm pretty sure it's in a museum, is what I'm saying. So you
Oh,
need to steal
really?
it from the museum,
Mm.
roll up
I
to a
need Nicolas
restaurant, and it
Cage
will.
with that.
Honestly, you roll up to, let's say, like a Red Robin or somewhere. You're going to get a burger, and you drive it in. You're like, I need to get a table. My final message is, and
That might be worse than the chipmunk's voice. If I look good, but I have like that voice for small interactions, I think it's going to be fine for the most part because everybody's just going to be like, hey, "This guy's funny. He's just pulling a prank on us." For my family and everybody else around me, it's going to be a lot worse because they're going to have to deal with it all the time. But I probably just won't talk that often. Although I'm not convinced that using Steve Hawking's voice is any better than talking like a chipmunk. So I'm still Team Chipmunk on that one. I should say Team
what are
Ron
you
Reynolds
saying,
because
Steve
that's,
Hawking for? Like you guys are boys.
that's it. Everybody calls him Steve, dude. Look,
What?
he was Stephen Hawking in life, Steve Hawking in death.
That's hilarious. Yeah, yeah, me and Steve Hawking. Yeah, back in the day, we used
Dude,
to
me
do
and
all
Steve.
the chemistry together. We used to do mad astronomy together, bro.
Yeah, the
Come
best
on, show
about us.
some respect, Blake.
I'd roll on the back of his wheelchair. He put some pegs on that thing, and I was just standing on the back, hitting the
You
town.
just mute the laptop, and we would go.
Oh
Oh, I'm
man,
sorry. I couldn't resist when you said me and Steve Hawking.
I didn't even realize that I had said Steve, but yeah, that's my boy. That's why he gifted me his wheelchair on in death.
All right, well, there's our Would You Rather segment. Some great questions today, and we are going to be back after a couple brief ads with the Ways to Serve Potatoes bracket. This is a very important bracket, so you're not going to want to go anywhere. Stay tuned.
With warmer temperatures approaching, there is no better way to cool off than with some authentic Brazilian acai from Barraca Acai. I lived in Brazil for 2 years and I fell in love with acai, but when I came back to the US, I was pretty disappointed with the quality of the options here. That is until I found Barraca Acai, which tastes exactly like what they serve in Brazil, because that's exactly what it is. Imported from Brazil and delivered to your doorstep, it is the best treat for summer months. Whether you want it as a healthier alternative to ice cream or covered in sweetened condensed milk like I do, acai is a superfood that is super delicious. If you're interested, visit their Instagram at Bahaka Acai. That's BAHAKAACAI. And send them a DM and let them know that PM in the AM sent you.
And we are back. We
Is that your
have.
chipmunk's voice?
No, that was my Stephen Hawking voice.
See, you can't even tell the difference. You might as well just go with Ryan Reynolds. Would you rather
Dang,
be
that's true.
Sam Elliott with Stephen Hawking's voice? All right.
That
I'm
no.
excited to get into this bracket, so let's do it.
All right, so we have the different ways potatoes are served bracket, and we are drafting the best. And I believe I have the number one overall pick here, Blake. Is that right?
It's very likely. I'll give it to you because, like I said, with this one, all the options are so good that I don't feel like I'm really missing out on anything substantial because I want everything. So feel free to take the number one
Yeah.
pick, and I assume I know which
I
way you're
mean,
going to go.
there's definitely, in my mind, a clear one and two, but I think they could kind of go either way depending on the person. But I have to choose the most Americanized version of the potato, which is a sacred dish to me that I eat multiple times a week to make me happy. And that is the French fry.
Hmm.
I mean,
You eat
I
French fries
don't
multiple times
think,
a week?
yeah, at least three.
Man, the
Got an air
next the
fryer,
next
throw them in
podcast we do
there.
is going to be called "My 300 Pound Life." What is it?
You can't just steal that from TLC. Come on, I got to at least push it to 350 if we're gonna make any money.
My 350 pound life.
The air fryer makes it a substantially healthier option, and so I don't want to be judged for my consumption of French fries. I just want to throw that out there.
I mean, are you covering them in like how's your air fryer process? Because I know people are like the air fryer is so healthy, but then they'll drizzle oil all over them before they put it in. That's not that much better. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, I hadn't had that thought before, so you may have inspired me. But
It does put a nice
as of
crunch
right now,
on
I'm
them.
just throwing
That's
them
for
in.
sure. Okay, all right, I'll give it to you then. That's good. That definitely would have been my first overall pick as well. It's just I think everybody loves a good French fry. Some people might not like other things on this list, or they might not prefer them to other things. I think French fry probably will end up taking it because it's so universally loved. With that being said, my wife might divorce me if I don't take this next pick because she is a snacker. She loves her snacks, and I could go out into our kitchen right now. We probably have 47 bags of potato chips. They are her favorite thing. And you know what? They are delicious, so I can't blame her. So potato chips will be my second overall, um, and I'm happy with them. Who doesn't love a good Lay's?
You're talking just the classic ones?
Well, all potato chips. I mean,
Okay.
you want barbecue, you want sour cream and onion, whatever it is that you're feeling, cheddar, they're all in there, and potato chips are a delight.
Now that's a good bracket. We've done a tier list
Mm-hmm.
its own on chips, so definitely a very good pick there. But I can't believe I kind of expected that one to be the one that was going to come back to me here. And so with the number three overall pick, it is a no-brainer for me to take the best way potatoes can be served at a fancier restaurant, and that is mashed. Mashed
Okay.
potatoes,
I don't know if they serve
excellent.
mashed potatoes at a fancy restaurant.
Yeah,
I
they
think I
do.
think that's usually in a different form that I'm sure we'll cover later.
What
I
is
don't.
that, gold crested? I can't think of a fancier form of potato. There ain't no way they're serving you a baked potato.
That's probably the fancy. That I mean, whenever you go to like a steak restaurant, they don't give you mashed potatoes. It's usually a baked potato on the side.
That's not fancy. That literally still has the dirt on the outside.
Well, not at the fancy places. I don't know where you're eating. Not fancy
Why
if
would
you
they
got
serve
dirt.
you the disgusting wrinkly skin of a potato at a fancy place? I
Look, I
cannot
don't.
agree with
All
that.
I know is that mashed potatoes are delicious, but when I think
Uh,
of mashed potatoes in a restaurant, it's usually like a all-you-can-eat buffet or something like that. They're not fancy. Regardless, mashed potatoes are a good option. I took them. I didn't take mashed potatoes over potato chips just because I felt like potato chips were a better counter to the French fry. I was hoping that because they're kind of both just something you snack on, that maybe one they'd beat up in the end and it would have a better chance. But mashed potatoes are fantastic, and uh, I think that's a snag at three for sure.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, my next one. This is getting really hard for me because I want so many things. But I'm going to take one that I believe they're definitely not fancy, but it is something that is uh, known by a couple different names, but here where we're from, they are typically called funeral potatoes. You can
Dang.
call them cheesy potatoes, whatever it is, but funeral potatoes, as we know and love them, are fantastic, and I would prefer them well beyond mashed potatoes most of the time. I mean, they are special.
Yeah, and I just want to clarify for our non-Utah listeners, these are like
Mm.
scalloped potatoes in that big 9 by 16, I believe, pan where it's just, potatoes cut into circles, cheese mixed in, or they could be shredded, cheese
Mm.
mixed in, occasionally a delicious cornflake crumble on the
Oh,
top.
yeah, that little the little crumbly crust on top. That's magnificent.
Oh yeah, a little
So
pizzazz.
those might be my favorite form of potato. So I'm happy with it at the fourth overall.
Very good pick. You combine the cheese and the potato there. That's tough to beat. And so I definitely would have taken that next, and you're lucky you didn't let me get to that pick because that's going to be another powerhouse. So good job there. All right, that leaves me with a couple more that I have here on the list, and the next I will be taking the delicious form of breakfast potato.
Mm,
And me personally, I only like it two of the three ways it's served, which is the hash brown. I either
mm.
like the McDonald's style hash brown in a little circle or the shredded hash browns. I'm not a big chunk hash brown kind of guy. So I'm taking delicious
I
hash
guess I
browns.
can't even think of what a chunk hash brown is, but yeah, the McDonald's style, like the patty, whatever it is, that's probably my favorite. Where you can just like
Oh yeah.
take it and munch on it. Those are
Dip it in
fantastic.
ketchup.
Yep, it was between a few
Mm-mm-mm.
funeral potatoes and hash browns for me, so that's an excellent choice. I mean, a breakfast potato is a good potato. That's all.
Oh
That's
yeah.
if I know one thing, that's what it is.
True. No, very, very
And I'm
good.
going to take one that is it's probably the closest to a hash brown in style and taste, and that's the tater tot.
I had that one. Yeah, good pick. You
The
stole that one from me.
the tater tot is it's basically a cylinder McDonald's hash brown, but they're delicious whatever
Oh
form they
yeah.
come in. So I love me a good tater tot.
That's a very good pick. Tater tots are excellent. Made a big cameo in Napoleon Dynamite, so
Oh yeah, I mean Napoleon Dynamite did wonders for the tater tot community.
oh yeah.
It really, I think it was dying down, but then after Napoleon Dynamite, it just skyrocketed, and they're doing really well for themselves now.
No, it's interesting that that movie was made in Idaho, the potato capital of the world.
And they were having
Conspiracy
tater
much?
tots. They were having tater tots. That means the potato capital of the world's potato of choice is a tater tot. You heard it here first.
Oh, that's good journalism that we just did there. Good investigative journalism. All right. I have one pick left, three items on my list,
Mm.
and I think one of them is too similar to the scalloped or funeral potatoes which you took, which is au gratin, which I think it's kind of the same. It's like
The heck
potatoes and
is that?
cheese, and
Oh,
it's like the potatoes and cheese. So I'm not going to take that one, but they are
okay.
really good. And it's between baked and roasted for me, and I think I'm gonna go with a nice roasted potato with
Mm.
some good seasonings, dazzled over the top, if you
I
will.
mean, those are delicious. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here. Growing up, I used to not like potatoes. I'd eat French fries and stuff, but any other form of potato just wouldn't do it for me. And then one day, my mom made some roasted potatoes. I don't know what she put on those things, but they were delicious. They got me
Oh
into
yeah,
the potato world, and I've been grateful for that day ever since because it's I love me a good potato, and a roasted potato is a classic for sure.
yeah. I mean, if the seasonings hit right,
Mm.
oh, very good,
Mm-mm-mm.
very good.
That's excellent. And now you put me into a spot here because I have two on my list, and baked is one of them. I think we've kind of talked about that, and it seems like a travesty to leave that off because it's such a classic, and I think that we're going to get a lot of flack for it. But I have to stay true to if I'm sitting down at a restaurant and you offer me a choice between two things, unless it's a sweet baked potato, that changes things a little bit. You put a little brown sugar on there, that's a delight. But
No,
I'm staying with the regular potatoes, and I'm gonna go with gnocchi. I don't know how to say it, gnocchi.
ah, Gnocchi?
Yeah, whatever, however you want to pronounce it.
Gnocchio?
Yeah, gnocchio. It's like the potato pasta thing. Oh,
Mhm.
we love that. We get some packets from Trader Joe's of that, and you put a little water with it, throw it on the stove. They're delicious, and I just love them. So I knew that was going to slip down to me at the end. I didn't think you would include that, so I'm thrilled to at least include it on the list. But shout out to our boy Baked Potato, who some might say that he was snubbed for sure.
Sure, I mean, definitely an honorable mention, but here's the problem with the baked potato is that the toppings determine how good the baked
Mm.
potato is. I don't know if you can necessarily say that for the rest of these potato
Yeah, I mean, French
serving
fries
methods.
are better with salt and stuff. I mean, just a plain French fry doesn't do
Yeah.
much, but
But
I
a
think
baked potato
salt
with
is
salt?
yeah, I think
No,
salt is needed on most of these. So
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
baked.
you can make that argument, but I want ham,
Yeah, I
bacon,
think there's about a
something on a baked
centimeter
potato.
thick layer on top of baked potato that's really good, and then everything else underneath it is kind of just like it's just okay. And that's why I like the sweet baked potato, because you can go, when you're at a fancier restaurant, they have those, and
Dude,
you
I
can.
did not know you were a sweet potato guy.
Oh,
My respect meter is going
I
all the way down.
love. Oh, people stand with me. I was half tempted to see if you would let me take a sweet potato French fry, because they are they are so good. If a place has sweet
No
potato
way.
fries and regular fries, I'm gonna take the sweet potato fries nearly every time, unless they have like some other good flavoring on their regular
Ooh.
fries. But sweet potatoes, once you're a
Oh,
man, you know that they are
no.
delicious.
That is a terrible take. I think at maybe it's Texas Roadhouse, they bring out a sweet potato as like melted marshmallows
Mm.
on top.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't imagine
Oh
why you would
yeah.
order that.
That my favorite thing on
Oh my
Thanksgiving, and
gosh.
I think we've done a bracket for this already, but they got like you got like the sweet potatoes or yams, whatever. They got like the orange casserole thing, and it's either has marshmallows on top, or sometimes it has like the roasted pecans on there. Oh man, they are. It's so good. It's my favorite. It's a sweet treat. It's almost like you get a dessert, but you're eating a potato, so it feels a little
That's
bit better.
disgusting. I'm still trying to decide why you brought up yams when you were talking about sweet potatoes with
It's because there's a
marshmallows,
lot
but
of there's a lot of misunderstanding on what's a yam and what's a sweet potato. So I wanted to
okay.
make sure everybody understood that I was talking about the orange plate at Thanksgiving is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, thanks for grouping all the disgusting things in one so all of us
Mm,
normal people can
mm.
just go,
One
yeah,
day,
no
one day you'll
thanks.
grow up. That's yeah.
No, I'll eat my Ginocchio and become a real boy. All right. Well, I think that rounds it out. Very good picks today. I think that was a pretty good draft. I'm excited to see what the people at home have. It'll be interesting to see if we have any upsets on this bracket and different styles of potatoes that we maybe missed. So make sure you're following along at PM and the AM podcast on Instagram. You will see our stories there posted of these potatoes pairings, and we will see which one ultimately comes out on top. Blake, any predictions?
I'm gonna give it to French fry. I'm assuming that people are gonna stay loyal to the thing that they probably eat the most often, and I think that was an excellent choice, not letting that slide to me. So good work.
I know. I always love to have the easy draft with a clear one of one pick when I've got the number one. So that worked out well for me, Blake. Anything else you got for the listeners on the way out today?
You know what? I don't, but we appreciate you guys listening.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to share the show with a friend, and we will catch you guys next week.
Peace out.
Congrats on making it all the way to the end. We hope you enjoyed the show. You are now officially part of the PM and the AM fan base, the morning people, and we are super pumped to have you here. Now that you're a part of the crew, please share the episode with a friend, and make sure to check out the rest of our shows and social media content for more hilarious brackets, crazy questions, and an overall great time. Thanks for listening. It truly means a lot to us, and we'll catch you guys next week.